Welcome to the Leadership Lifeline online radio with your host, Steve Q. Wiltshire. Leaders around the globe are proving that anything is possible by trailblazing new paths, pioneering new thoughts, and impacting lives through leadership. Join Steve for powerful messages and interviews with the most powerful and influential direct sales and network marketing leaders from around the globe. We will explode your vision. And now, your host, Steve Q. Wiltshire.
Hey, it's Steve Wiltshire, and I want to welcome you to the Leadership Lifeline online radio. So excited about our interview today with Kathy Gittleman. Our mission is to impact lives, and we serve the direct sales and network marketing industry. It's been an absolute honor working with so many leaders across the globe and impacting so many lives and helping people create their own strong economy. And that's what we do, help people create their rendition of an ideal life. I actually just went from doing a podcast for the last couple of years. We've had 30 to 60,000 people tune in to our podcast, and we decided we're going to bring this online so we can intimately meet our guests. You can enjoy the video. We can record the video for our clients and have them share this with people in their community. 15 years ago, I had a vision to start the Leadership Lifeline online radio and to create my own company in direct sales. And I got to tell you, it's been an incredible ride. I started direct sales industry about 17, put me through college. I started making incredible money and started realizing I love the community. I love the evolution. I loved all the excitement and the trips and the community and the continuous growth. And about 15 years ago, I realized that I wanted to go into coaching and developing people and creating programs that help people succeed. And it's been an absolute unbelievable honor working with so many top leaders across the globe that have built awesome organizations impacting lives. And what I want you to know is that so much has changed around the globe. Men and women are looking for different ways to create security. They're wanting more freedom. They're wanting more time with families. And many of them are jumping into the direct sales and network marketing industry. And they're seeing success and they're able to leave their jobs. And one of the companies on the cutting edge is Keep Collective. And Keep Collective is actually a, we'll say, sister company of Stella and Dot. And Kathy Gittleman has been a client of mine for the last, 7 or 8 years. And I got to tell you, she's achieved so much success in direct sales. Most importantly, she's impacted so many lives, and she's achieved the top level in Keep Collective, and that is the Diamond Director. She's been in the industry for 22 years. She started Keep 4 years ago, and in our pre-interview, we asked her a few questions. We asked her how her life has been impacted through leading others, and she said, it is something to be successful, but it's another to help other people create and define their level of success. We asked her what her greatest passion was, and she said, my family. Direct sales has afforded me the time to be flexible in my work, to earn my rendition of an ideal income, earning an income that I never dreamed possible. I have been able to be present with my children's activities and sports and families and our family functions. And so much has come out of just me being able to be home with my family. And I want that for others. We asked her what her driving force was. And she went on to say that her driving force is coaching and mentoring women to create, men and women to create their own strong economy, live a life that they love. It's been an incredible honor to be a part of Kathy's success team. And I'll tell you that one of the greatest characteristics that I see in leadership is constantly evolving yourself, becoming the greatest rendition of yourself, noticing that you're constantly growing. And I'll tell you, of the hundreds of leaders that I've worked with, she's definitely one of the top that has continually evolved. She has become such an amazing leader and making a difference in so many different areas of her life. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Kathy Gittleman. Glad you're here, my friend. How's it going?
Hi there.
What's up?
I'm so happy to be here with you.
Oh, it's interesting to have had you at my retreat several years ago. And, life changed, we go in and out, things happen, and then we reconnected. And every time we reconnect, I am just blown away over your growth, your disposition, your attitude. You're continually evolving yourself in service of what you can provide, help people. And you've got one of the most solid business models of any client that I've ever worked with. Your business, I remember having this conversation with you about 7 or 8 months ago, thinking, your business model is so solid. And in my world, that's such a big deal because I know it's going to ensure the percentages of people that can have success and leverage their time. So, hey, start from the beginning. When you think back at what it was like in those early days, what was it, 22 years ago? What was your original reason for jumping into this industry?
So, flashback to my real career when I was, before I had children, I did computer automated design. I designed bridges and tunnels for engineering companies, work with primarily men. So constantly having to prove myself every day. I dreaded going to work, honestly. And then we decided to start a family. And I believe in 1996, my son was 2 months old and my daughter was just turning 3. I was introduced to a direct sales company, and it was like kind of a crafty one, and which totally appealed to me. And I asked my girlfriend to introduce me to her friend who sold it. And I fell in love with the products, and I joined because I wanted the discount. And to be honest with you, within 5 or 6 weeks, I realized that my friends liked the products too, and that leadership happened in about 3 months. And then I realized income came with leadership, and it wasn't just a job. It was something I could do for fun, yet make some money at it. And it still enabled me to be a work-at-home mom. And so I was with that company a really long time, 10 plus years. And then I was introduced to another company. And at that point, I really knew that direct sales was for me. And so many people were like, you're not even a salesperson. And I'm like, I don't have to be. I used to work behind a desk or behind a computer. But what I found is when you find a product that you love, you can embrace it and just share it with people, and you don't have to sell it. Let people make a decision for themselves.
And that's your whole philosophy. I when I think about what you do so well, is just even in modeling, you diminish the assumptions that people feel about this industry that are misunderstood. They're so misunderstood. And, to think that, leadership came into play. When I think of all the interviews I've done on the Leadership Lifeline online radio, many of which built a multi-million-dollar business, I would say maybe only 4 or 5 came into the industry knowing they wanted to build it. They got in because it looked like a good fit. Why not get my products at a discount? I got to write it off. I'll go say I'm calling it a home-based business, have a little bit of fun, see how it goes. And then all of a sudden it turns into a life of its own. When you think about the impact it's had on your life in a multitude of ways, what is that for you?
So I've been through struggles and ups and downs over the past 22 years. And some people might take adversity and run away from it, and I look at it as a challenge. I look at it as a learning opportunity to grow. And you can't grow without having struggles. Yeah. And so that is why I'm where I am today, is because I took those opportunities of struggle as learning lessons. And not only does it make me a better person, a better mom, a better wife, but it also makes me a better leader because I've experienced all those things. And we have 2 choices when we face adversity. We could run the other way and just say, I give up, or we can say, wait, this is what in this is going to help me grow and is going to help me be better and is going to help me teach others that perseverance is what gets you really far in this business.
That's so true. Gosh. Thinking about my vision board, the 2 choices in life, faith or fear,
Right.
Faith or fear, right? very rarely does somebody join this industry knowing they want to build a career. You talked a little bit about this during your intro, that at one point early on, the first quarter, the vision started to happen. Talk more about that. Tell us more about that.
So what I realized is I was getting to do everything with my kids that I could. But yeah, there was some little bit of extra income there. And then I found myself going, wait, my friends like this, and I'm helping other people join, and I'm showing them the way. And then what I realized is that it was bringing me joy. And that's the part that people don't understand, is like, how do they like their jobs so much when they're in the direct sales industry? And so I was with that company for many years. I went to another company. I actually walked away from company with a really sizable team making six figures because my vision didn't align with their vision anymore. And that is what kind of empowers myself, is knowing that I know the opportunity is there. I know the business model is amazing, but it's really about finding a company that your vision, your passion, your products all align, because then you get to where I am today. And I've made choices over time, but it was choices that always put my family first, and then helping others. And now I'm with Keep Collective, which is all about happiness. And what I love about Keep is that not only are they creating entrepreneurial spirits in women and men, but they're also making customers really happy. So a lot of companies have a mission that's either on the products or a mission on the programs. With Keep Collective, it's a beautiful balance of both, where we have the happiness in the people who are designers selling it, and the happiness and joy that we bring to customers who we share the products with. So I'm totally in my happy place. Look at my colorful office. You could tell.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm thinking of my bracelet that you sent to me with my word for the year. It made such a big difference. It's made such a big difference to me. It meant so much to me. And how my mother loves your product line, and I'm tuning into that right now. Like it definitely makes people happy. I just pulled this off of my wall. I make choices that make me happy, feel happy. At the bottom, it says highest excitement. Like, what's my highest excitement, right? Go ahead, share.
I'm wearing a Live Happy bracelet right now. That's one of the things I love about Keep too is that we partner with companies to give back, whether it's cancer or autism. And so also anti-bullying in young girls. So the kindness campaign that we had. So that's another thing that I just think that is kind of like a cherry on top with my business, is that the company is so in tune with giving back as well, giving back to the community, giving back to our customers, our hostesses, our designers with products and programs. It's just, I don't know. I kind of get giddy when I talk about it.
Gittleman, close. And you know what? That's a good example about how we have to be in relationship with people, organizations, companies, even investors, right? That have common values, their values fit us. So many people let fear get in the way of the success they're so worthy of experiencing. And fear is, false evidence appearing real. We make things up, and it prevents us from having the courage to move forward. What were some of the fears that were present going back to the beginning of your journey? And then what are some of the fears now that you perhaps witness as a leader of a very large organization?
I think fear is so common. We're not born with fear. We develop fear by life experiences, right?
Yeah, right.
And so I think that people have the fear of the unknown. And so when people are looking at businesses or opportunities such as Keep Collective, you can't decide if it's not going to work without trying. And so letting fear get in the way, if I let fear get in the way for making that decision August 29th, 4 years ago, I'm about to celebrate my 4-year anniversary. If I let fear get in the way, my life and my family's life and the thousands of women on my team might not be here. Yeah. If I let fear get in my way. I was walking away from a sizable team in another company. I was making a very good income, but something about the enthusiasm in the person I was talking to at Keep Collective and the opportunity. And honestly, it took him a week to convince me to join Keep because I was fearful. But then I says, oh my gosh, then I'll be experiencing the what ifs. I didn't do it. And then I wouldn't have been able to change so many people's lives and help so many people have the impact that Keep is having in their lives.
I love your heart. Gosh, that you're like my ideal avatar of a person I want to partner with. I mean, you always come from that purity of heart. I don't use that phrase very often. I usually only see it in youth, and I see it in very wise, mature adults. But I know in these conversations, even when you're looking at challenges to overcome or setbacks or taking your organization to another level, you're always looking at it through the lens of how do I best serve these people? What do I need to change about myself and what I'm doing to help them get greater results? What inspires you?
My kids, honestly. So.
They're a rock star, by the way. Your
I will
husband,
say,
John, amazing.
my kids do, honestly, because I think back to, we were just talking when I joined direct sales, my kids were 2 months old and 3 years old. Well, now my son's going to be 22 next month and my daughter's going to be 25 in August.
Wow.
So they honestly.
Looking good, girl. You said.
Thanks. You and I are 6 months apart, right? But it honestly, I love that I've been able to model how to have success and have it all. How to have success, be that I was a cheerleading coach and I was a sports mom on the bench and I was a Cub Scout leader and a Girl Scout leader and a volleyball mom and a baseball mom, and I could go on and on. But I love the fact that my kids know that I have a serious career and business, and this isn't just a hobby for me, but yet I haven't missed a beat in their lives. Mm-hmm. My son just graduated college in May, and he's getting into the workforce. My daughter's living on her own now, and I feel like she always references something that she's seen me do over the years with my team. Oh. And she's modeling that. She's becoming a female leader in her industry. So that's something I'm super proud about.
You're just like nailing this. You're reminding me of the things that I hold so high in life. Modeling is the greatest gift we give others. And, we're so often as we're growing on our journey, we're tapped into history, like how we were raised. I remember when my son turned 8, and I thought, I'm in empowering leadership everywhere in my life, but I'm kind of an enabler. And then I thought back to how I was raised. And I remember making those shifts. And, you think about it, modeling is the law of least effort. We grow, we continue to grow, we do the things that we feel are right. That's where they learn, not by telling someone, but by who we are, right? Yeah. What do you think are the most common reasons that people join Keep? And even if you were to give us some examples of people that maybe jumped in, people are smart consumers now, Kathy, right? They're jumping in to get the product at a discount. They realize, okay, I don't really have to do a lot with this, but I can write it off because Uncle Sam calls it a home-based business. Way cool, want to save my time. So I buy from my own store, get a gift for somebody. I get to write that off as well. If somebody likes what I have, I can send them to my site. They place an order, ching, ching. When you notice the reasons people are jumping in to Keep, and then you notice the shift when they see the vision, give us some examples of what that's about.
So I actually love this question. I really do, because I've got team members that are younger than my kids, and I've got team members that are older.
I love that. I love the millennials.
I know, it's awesome. But what I love about Keep is there's no cookie cutter designer. We have men, we have women, we have people who never went to college. I never went to college. I didn't go to college. I went to a trade school, and yet I am making a 6-figure income. And is that typical? No, it's because of my matched effort of what I put into my business. But people can join, like you said, to get the products that cost, because they're just addicted to it and they want it all. Or people can join to kind of make an extra, a little bit of income, whether it's, you know, a tank of gas or lunch with the kids or a manicure or a housekeeper. Or people can do what I do and contribute to paying off college education, having a 50th birthday party, surprise party for my husband a couple of years ago. Just got a new car, you know, like there's so many, you could do big or small. And what I love about Keep is that there's people who work from their phones. There's people who go and still do in-person parties or one-on-ones and just meet people for coffee. There's people who run their businesses 100% online. I do a little of both. We get to pick how we want to work, when we want to work. And the greatest gift in it is that we're bringing a product to people that brings them joy. And it's super affordable. And that's why people love it, because they don't get turned away by finding out that our terms start at $7. And the most expensive bracelet in our catalog is $59. So it's affordable for everyone. And we have amazing incentives for designers. And one of the things that I love is that a specific designer, and I won't mention her name, told me she never had a honeymoon and she earned a trip through Keep Collective. And she got to have her honeymoon with a whole bunch of Keep designers and our home office. And it was the best experience ever to see the joy on their faces. That was just the cherry on top of her business, because she was getting the income, she was getting the joy, and then she gets the incentives and perks that go along with it. I take so much pride when we go to our national convention in the summertime, because I sit there and I watch people walk across that stage who get it and who've had the opportunity and never had recognition in anything in their lives. But yet they've done some great things with their Keep business and get to be noticed. And one of the biggest jokes I always make is, when's the last time you vacuumed your house and your family got up and applauded, right? So there's
Right.
right. But these women are feeling recognition and support and community and culture. And that's something that you can't get necessarily in a 9-to-5 job. But then we talk about those women who don't get that, but yet I have nurses and dentists and lawyers and real estate agents and people who work full time that love Keep so much that they want to add this to something that they already have. So there's so much opportunity, and you design what you want Keep Collective to be for you.
You just kind of read my mind, because I was going to ask you, what are the most common ways people make money? And you're reminding me of your onboarding, because I remember looking at your onboarding program and having a conversation about how you're so cognizant of the different ways that people can make money and honoring where they're at. You know, do they want to completely make money on home, online, representing the most creative fashion jewelry line in the world? Yes, they can. And you've got training and mentors to support them in making it happen. How do people get started? What's your process when they get started? And then of course you've got people that want to jump in, just get the products at a discount, or people that jump in and think, well, I had a Facebook party, I had 3 bookings, I might as well join, I can get the products at a discount. What's your system around that?
Yeah, so we have different startup kits that people could get, which has like a whole little party going on in it, some business materials. And we offer 3 on a regular basis. Right now we have a 4th one, which is a steal. And people can get started. They need to find a Keep designer. If you don't have a Keep designer already, contact me. If you have one and you're watching this video, make sure you reach out to them and find out how they can support you in getting started. But getting started is easy. You order a kit. We can get you started by making an announcement to your friends and family, help you get started online. If you want to do a combination of both, we have those options, and get you up and going with training. And one of the greatest things as a leader that I recognize with Keep Collective is that their training is second to none. I mean, from apps for your phone to recordings to Facebook Lives to a back office that's unbelievable, and our technology is second to none. We have drag and drop programs where people can drag and drop charms right on your website to see what their bracelet would look like or their engravable would look like.
I love that, by the way. It's so cool.
Yeah, so if you get started, you order your kit in your first 21 days. It's called your Quick Start program. If you have one party that's $500 or more, you earn another $250 in product for $50. And then there's rewards even on top of that in your first 60 days. And if you want to do it, but you have a little fear, I recommend finding a friend that might want to join you, and you get trained together, because it's more fun with a friend for sure. I remember when I started Keep, I started with friends, and my friends are growing and growing and growing in the Keep community, and I just love that. But have no fear in getting started, because this is my thing. If you try it and 3 months later it's not for you, so what? I'll be more respectful of the fact that someone tried to do something out of their comfort zone, and it might just be for you. And I have a girlfriend who I've been talking to, and she's like, I don't know if it's for me. And I'm like, well, you're never going to know if it's for you unless you try. And I shared with her a story that, like, I could walk down in the little village and see all these dress shops and see this cute dress in the window on the way to go get a cup of coffee. And if I keep on walking by that dress and I never go in and try it on, then I'll never know if it looks good or if it fits or whatever. And with Keep, that's what I say. Just try it on. If it doesn't fit, we bless and release and you move on. But if it does fit, it could be life-changing.
Absolutely. I want to just mention, we know we have a lot of direct sellers watching this interview today live. And one of the reasons I decided to bring this online is I wanted to create a recording so that my clients can use this and share with people that are looking into the business. People want instant access. And so I'm really highlighting leaders that I really are moved and touched and inspired by their work in the world and the huge impact that they're making. And anyone on this show is doing big work and making a huge difference. Let's talk about the income potential. You know, you've shared some incredible, stories about many representatives. I think you call them Keep Collective Designers.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Even your journey, of making that, you make way over 6-figure income, and you made that in a really short period of time. Talk about the income potential, my friend.
The income potential is super easy. From the minute you order your kit, you can start earning. You don't have to wait for your kit to arrive. A lot of people do social selling. We earn 25 to 35% on our own sales. And if you sponsor designers and help them launch their businesses too, you have the opportunity to earn added income on there. And so I've got people making a couple extra $100 a month. And then I've got girls that are paying mortgages on houses and moving and buying cars and, paying them off, and tuition and dance lessons and sports. I know, for those of you who have children in sports, I know how, club sports and the equipment and all that stuff. I've got people that have the opportunity to buy those extra things. And even my favorite time of year is when I see team members sharing what they were able to afford their kids for holiday gifts, or made a birthday extra special because of joining Keep and having that extra income. What I love about the income opportunity is that you can kick it up a notch or take it down a notch whenever you want. If there's, a tax bill or a water heater breaks in your house and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for that? You just do a little bit more Keep that month and you'll pay for it, whereas if you're wanting to take a summer month off because you travel with your family or have, a big celebration, you take the month off, and so that's what I really love about it is the reward is as much as you put in, you get out, and that's the thing. So I work Keep full time. Some people might say I work Keep big time. But then some people say I only want to do it part-time. And when I ask a question of, well, what does part-time look like for you? Part-time could be, I want to do one party a month, but part-time for someone else could be like, I want to do 2 parties a week, because 2 parties a week is about 4 hours plus a little admin time. If you were to go to a Starbucks and ask for a part-time job, they'd probably tell you it's about 20 hours a week. So I love that you define what success is for yourself.
Well said. What's your driving force? What's your why? What deep down drives you to succeed right now, today?
My deep down is that Oh, I get emotional. I didn't expect to get emotional. I'm a crier. My
I
deep
love
down
you.
voice forces two things. One, my why is my family, and my why is that my husband travels a lot for business, and so I would really love to enable him to not have this traveling career, be able to do something simpler and home, and that he doesn't have to travel, so he can spend more time with us. And the other why is that I honestly want to take everybody to the top with me. I think that there's nothing more rewarding, and this is where I get emotional. There's nothing more rewarding than watching people grow. I've seen girls on my team, again, not mentioning names, who Keep has given them the strength to get out of a bad marriage, or Keep has given them the strength to be able to go buy their kids new holiday clothes. Keep has given them the strength to do a lot of things. It's changed lives in so many ways, and that's why my team calls me Mama Chick. Because
Tell me
we're
the name of your team.
the chicks with charm. I've got chicks all over my office,
Love it.
but they do call me Mama Chick, and because I feel like I've got a family of like my little chickadees, and I just want them to have what I have, or what they want to have out of their businesses. So I get super emotional when I talk about my team.
It's a culture. I mean, this whole industry is a society, a community of people that are committed to developing, growing. It just naturally creates that, right? You know, and then to be tucked into a community like yours, where it's so much about growth and sharing and evolving. You know, I was watching, I'm actually in a 30-day program right now, incredible. And Garrett White said, you know, we ask people what their purpose is. 90% of them respond in our case studies, thousands of people, and it's outside of themselves. But he said, I invite you to consider that your purpose is that every day you expand in every area of your life. Will you find your purpose in that? Will you make a huge impact? Absolutely. And this community definitely creates that. So inspire us. Tell us about some of your successes and don't hold back.
Successes here at Keep?
Yeah, like, come on, brag a little bit. Some of the things you just didn't even know were possible. I know you like to make it about your team, but how about you? What are some of the
part of my
successes that you have
success
that just you never thought possible, right?
part of my success is my team's success, actually, because I wouldn't be where I am today without the team. You know, it's all our community that makes things happen. I'm super proud of the fact that when I first joined Keep Collective in my first year, I was number 2 in sales for the entire company. And that was not a goal that I set out to happen. It was just, I was just so inspired by our product.
So
and
personal sales, right?
personal sales.
You
Yeah.
still walk your talk.
And
That's I didn't know that. That's so cool.
and the same year I was top 10 in sponsoring as well. And then
Woohoo.
last year at our national convention, I think it's probably like the epitome of my 22 years in direct sales, probably the best award I could ever receive was that I was voted, I was going to say, is it on my wall, but I can't take it off my wall. I was voted the Spirit of Leadership Award in the entire company. And that's a company that you're not, a award that you're nominated by your peers. And so that took my breath away, because it means that I'm doing my job. It means that I am inspiring women and I am helping people reach their goals, and they can see it and feel it. And so I think, you know, sales are one thing, sponsoring and helping others join is another thing, but knowing that my team believes in me, that was probably the biggest thing ever for me.
You know, we got kind of reconnected. You know, we all have busy lives, and you and I especially, a lot going on. And we got actually reconnected from Joni Garcia, a client of mine, and she was sharing in this conversation what a huge impact you have made in her life. And if it wasn't for you, she didn't feel like her business and would be thriving like it was, and she's not even on your team. And that's just a really good example of how you operate from a place of faith and inspiration, and what your mission really is all about. Since we're here, what do you think are, just curious, what do you think are attributes that define a leader that's living by their mission? How do they show up? Especially people that are watching this interview that want to move into leadership and want to become, that discover that leader within.
I think that putting others before yourself, while taking care of yourself. I think that a leader has to recognize, and you and I talk about this a lot, I think a leader has to recognize that they can't be everything to everyone. And just because we believe in someone doesn't mean that they're going to believe in themselves. So showing people the way and showing people how to believe. One of the biggest things I've seen in this industry, not just Keep Collective, is watching personal growth. But personal growth doesn't happen unless you have someone believing in you. I know you've believed in me for many years, and I so appreciate that. But I love that. So taking care of yourself, giving the time you deserve to replenish and reboot, and so that you could wake up every day and do it all over again, I think is so important. I think that you mentioned it before, being a servant leader, because if you help others, success comes back to you tenfold. I think that not engaging in the negativity, because sometimes, I mean, it's just people's nature. Sometimes people see the glass half full and the glass half empty. And so I try to avoid all of that as much as possible, because I think that it doesn't help anyone. So I think that filling yourself with gratitude and staying positive, and my favorite word is probably perseverance, because I'm not saying it's always going to be easy, but it's figuring out when you have a little hurdle, how to get yourself back to that place. And so it's kind of reinventing yourself over and over and over again as a leader. And it's kind of a nice challenge. I'm not going to lie. Like, I love it. If I have a bad day, I'm like, okay, shut the computer down. I'm going to go do something for myself that fills my cup. And I get back up the next day and I'm like, all right, I got this, And so I think that leadership is so fulfilling when you take care of yourself and you make sure that you are in a space that you can give to others.
That answer rocked. It's so true. I can't even tell you how many times, without going into details, but you've gone through two really huge adversities, and it's been such a blessing for the people that I coach that have gone through some pretty huge adversities. And I remember, having this conversation with you where this life adversity card showed up, and it was huge. And notice that word perseverance was who you had to become in that situation, and you've evolved into that. And that's where, what we mean about bottling, right? You end up paying it forward. So I got kind of two questions for you. If we actually have direct sellers that are watching this interview live, maybe are going through some challenges, what do you recommend to them? And then second, and wrapping up our interview, people want to join Keep. They're watching this recording and they're like, I'm really interested in either finding more information or joining. Let's start there. What's your recommendation for that? How do they do that?
Well, if this video was shared to you by someone who is a Keep designer, then definitely reach out to them. We have business materials and design guides, which are our catalogs, and we have amazing product collection kits to get started, but just ask questions. And if you don't know a Keep designer, then here I am.
You are.
My team is all over the US and Canada, so I can support you any way you want. But yeah, it's just asking questions and knowing. And honestly, I think a big thing is finding the right mentor in this business, because I think that if you connect with someone who is going to be your driving force and support you in your goals, then you can be successful. I have been successful at other companies, but I chose to walk away. And that's sometimes hard if you're in a business that you're not growing or it's not fulfilling your needs, and you don't wake up with joy and you feel more frustration than happiness. Then sometimes, like myself, it's time to move on. It's a hard thing to do, but don't give up on the industry, because I loved the business model. I just knew that it was just a season in my life and there was something bigger and better awaiting me.
God, beautiful. Well said. Gosh, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for bringing your time, your talent, your wisdom, your experience, your authenticity. I'm just smiling so big because of the growth and the huge impact that you're making. And I want to thank everybody for joining us on the Leadership Lifeline online radio. We're going to take some questions in just a moment, but we're going to finish the recording and then wrap it up. And I just want to say, Kathy, do you have any final words that you want to share with anybody that might be watching this recording, in hopes of them creating a life they love?
I think know your purpose and figure out what your why is. If you have a driving force that is drawing you to something, go with your gut and try it. Don't let fear get in the way, because fear will hold you back from having the greatest version of yourself and expect growth. And so many people are like, oh, that's just her and not me. It's what you want and what you want in life, that you have a choice to make it happen. And I think that you don't have these experiences unless you try.
That is my favorite group of people to study. That, like, I love Jules' story, for example. That's just somebody I've studied recently. That, wow, I mean, she was practically homeless and grew up in Alaska and wanted to become a singer. And, we are capable of getting through anything, right? So, hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording. We'll answer some questions. Thank you for being on the Leadership Lifeline online radio.